Oh, you'll be good. Good diplomat, you know, our Joe. You cocked up. You had them.
Joe Root, Geoffrey Boycott, thank you for joining me to Young Yorkshire's finest. We're at Abidale Cricket Club. When did you first set foot in this ground?
So I played here quite a few times. I got 400. It was a...
Flat pitch?
Oh, no. It was a good cricket pitch. There was a bit in it for the bowlers, but if you bat well, yeah, I would say it was a good cricket pitch.
Did you enjoy Abidale? Did the players enjoy coming here?
Oh, we loved it. Best lunches on the circuit it was. Hot lunches. Scarborough's probably the best cold and now, but this, they used to come and cook steak and kidney pie, cottage pie, all kinds, beef Wellington, all sorts of, and the puddings were out of this world. Our lads used to love it. Oh, when the toss and bat captain. The bowlers, oh, they couldn't wait for you to bat. And if you were still batting at lunch, then they took in everything. Oh, rhubarb crumble and custard and all the lot. Then they'd go lay down in the dressing room like a lion just there, because they weren't bowling.
When did you first see the young Joe Root, and what were your impressions then?
I remember him coming to Jersey. My wife does very much, you remember?
I do, yeah.
He was tiny. He shot up at one stage at Yorkshire, but he was much tinier. 13 would you be about?
12, I reckon, yeah.
12.
Maybe a new.
He came with the under-15s to play a tournament in Jersey, and I lived in Jersey for about 8 years. And I went to the ground where I'd opened the ground a couple of years before, and you were 12th man because your kit got lost on the way. Is that correct?
That's right, yeah.
And my wife took picture of him and talked to him, and that's when we first met him. We took you back for food, didn't we?
Yeah, all of us.
I had a house in Jersey, had a huge swimming pool, and I mean huge, heated. So when they came from cricket, they all jumped in before we had food for them all. So that's how I remember him. He'd be 12 or 13. And I've watched his career. And what is interesting, I noted then, I watched and saw you could play when I saw you play in the nets and that. And there was one period where you shot up in height and you lost form. You weren't getting runs, were you?
I had to change my whole technique, how I stood, how I dressed the crease. I always used to bat with my back down, and then I grew, and then I kept falling over, kept overbalancing. So it took me about 6 months to figure out a new method. It was my first year as a professional player as well, so you start thinking, is it because I'm not good enough, or is it because I'm going through all these things? And when you go through a big change like that technically, the information that you learn about yourself, I think that's more valuable than any innings that can give you confidence, because you've got a way of self-coaching, which under pressure I think is really important to have.
That's still going today?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
When he grew up, when I asked after him, he'd grown up, and so when you bent over then, your eyes are like that, one above the other. But when you stand up, you really want your eyes horizontal on the same level, then you focus better. So what had happened, you were bending over as you shot up. You weren't focusing well. And once you stood up with your bat more like that, not so much the bat there, but by doing that, it got your eyes up on the right level.
Did, yeah. It was big change.
And that's what kids should remember. You must get your eyes, whatever stance you take, whatever guard, you must get your eyes on the same level.
And were you aware of the you must have been aware of the Yorkshire sort of lineage as you were growing up, the batting lineage,
absolutely.
going back to
Len Hutton as well, and
Hutton.
before, yeah, absolutely. And obviously wasn't lucky enough to watch Geoffrey play, but more Michael Vaughan, obviously coming from the same club here, watching him play. He played in the first team with my dad when I was really young, and then going and seeing him play for Yorkshire, getting the opportunity to watch and be a part of the academy with Anthony McGrath, Matthew Wood, see Darren Lehman play as the overseas player, and had an incredible record as a Yorkshire player.
Good player.
Came through the academy with the likes of Johnny Bairstow and Adam Live, who records obviously speak for themselves and done wonderful things for the county. And obviously with Gary as well, been part of that academy system and going and averaging 50 odd in first class cricket, playing for England. A number of wonderful players to learn from and talk to about the game and share ideas with, whether it be as a young lad coming through or once I made it into the first team. Very fortunate in that respect.
Who were the ones that you would have looked up to, Geoffrey, when you first walked into the Yorkshire County Cricket Club?
I didn't know anybody at Yorkshire. I've been to a test match. I went to Fred's test match when he terrified the Indians, and the score was 0-4. I was there as a 10-year-old watching, so Fred was a hero. I fell in love with Tom Graveney. Elegant made, what, 120 odd hundreds. Very good player, test player. And I was lucky enough, obviously different ages, I played with him in 1966 against West Indies at Lord's. His comeback. He played test cricket then, he'd been out a while. He came back against Wes Hall and Charlie Griffiths. And I actually batted with him. I made 60 odd and he made 90 odd. And I remember his first ball, I was a non-striker's end at nursery. Charlie was bowling from there, bowled him a short ball bouncer. And he gloved it down the leg side. The keeper dived and just failed to get there. Went for 4. He made 90. He's always been my hero.
Cricket's in the Root blood, isn't it? It's in the Root family going back a long way.
Going back a long way, yeah. My grandfather, well, and his father, massive Yorkshire supporters they're from Rotherham originally. But I remember he always used to tell me a story of going and watching Don Bradman play at Bramall Lane. So his dad got him off school, they took the bus into Sheffield, they went down to Bramall Lane to watch, and he said they saw, there was a bit of rain around, so they saw them going and inspecting the wicket. His dad mentioned that's Don Bradman there, and he thought that small man in a mac and a trench cap or whatever was going and inspecting the wicket. He thought, surely that can't be the great Don Bradman. And anyway, I think they were 50 odd for 1 by the time he walked out to bat, and we managed to watch him score 50. It was like watching, as you'd expect, someone playing a slightly different game, playing a Yorkshire team or whatever, but he speaks very highly of that as a young kid, getting the opportunity to watch him play. Sort of gone through our generations. My dad loves his cricket, had the chance to play at Lord's in a national knockout final. Mm-hmm. Me and my brother got told off for knocking the stumps in on the outfield like we'd done at every other ground we'd been to. Steward kicked us off and we didn't know what we'd done wrong.
Out in the outfield, out in the...
Yeah, on the actual pitch, yeah. So we were a bit miffed off, but I kind of see the error of our ways now. So yeah, we've always grown up around it, loved it. It's funny how small the cricket world is. My dad used to play with Jacob's dad down here, who was the first team captain for 10 years or so. To get the chance to obviously play with Jacob in the international team is quite a surreal, pinch yourself sort of moment, and feel like this club has almost got a weird sort of connection in a good standard of high level cricket and English cricket.
I don't know whether it's an old wives' tale or whatever, but in theory there's this chest protector that you passed on, I think, when you retired to the next anointed batsman in the Yorkshire team. Was it Martin Moxon at the time? Who then passed that on to Michael Vaughan, who then passed that on to Joe Root, we think.
Oh, well, I mean, I never had a chest protector until I faced the West Indies. There's 4 of them. Holding, Roberts, Garner, Croft.
So this is the late 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never needed one. I mean, you get an odd fast ball, there's 4 coming at you, there's no spinner. If you're waiting for the spinner coming, you'll be waiting forever. They just swapped them round and bowled everybody out. There was no limit on short balls or bouncers, so you got quite a lot. And they were very accurate. They didn't bowl bouncers above your head. To people like him and me, that looks great to the crowd going over your head here, but we laugh at it. They aimed it here at your body. And when it gets to your ribs, your heart, this height, not down here, it gets awkward to keep it down because you can't get over it enough. You get a short leg, short square, and a backward square. There's a gully, so if you don't get it down at 90 odd miles an hour, you're in trouble. I decided I needed padding here because when it got big on me, I could let it go. Because if I played it and it got bounced, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
it's going to go, you're going to get caught. I did that to Joel, who got a lot of bounce, didn't he, from nothing, 6'8". And I used to let him go and hit me, and he used to stand there looking at me, because it never happened before. I preferred that than a box, a protector, or a helmet. I much preferred that, because I grew up without a helmet. Well, we had the odd fast ball around, and you had to watch the ball, because if you got it wrong, you finished up in hospital. That never bothered me, but here, it's a problem, and they were very accurate at it. They worked out bounces up here, wide here. You've got to get it at the batsman. They were very clever and very good, very, very good. And that's why I devised a protector there. And I just let the ball hit it. Didn't get me in trouble, I didn't have to play it.
And you passed that to Martin Mox. Why
not?
Why not? Did you say anything to him? at the time? Was there a
Good luck.
Chest protectors in your garage, is it? Is what we don't.
It sort of morphed into a thigh pad by the time it got down to me. Michael passed me a thigh pad on, which was presented to me by Craig White, who was the second team player coach on my first game was actually here, so against Derbyshire, which was quite special. And I've still got it, got it. So we'll have to. My chest guard's actually in Geoffrey's bag. I remember sending him out in the Ashes in 2019 and said, "We need you for this series. You need to make sure you look after those ribs. Last thing we need is you going down injured batting." So he's got my chest guard. I've still got that. Look, I treasure it. I was very proud to have received it. It gave me a huge amount of confidence as a young lad coming through at Yorkshire. Getting that from one of my heroes, so treasured.
Will you be wearing it at Perth first test?
No, it's massive. I don't know how Michael managed to play in it. We'll have to find the next budding young Yorkshire player to see if, hopefully they're a tall lad and they can wear it.
You say you're going to have to choose somebody, you're going to have to continue this tradition and decide what to pass on.
Well, there's a bit of time yet before I have to make a decision like that. It'd be nice to carry on, sure.
Let's talk about the Ashes. What are England's chances, Geoffrey? What do you see England this winter?
England need Jofra Archer to stay fit, and Wood. They've got to stay fit. Now, they haven't done that. They don't have to play all the tests. In fact, for me, I would pick out and maybe spread them around. History shows they've never stayed fit for a series, have they, either of them? And if I can get one of them playing every match, fast bowler is the ace. It helps you a great deal. It helps bowlers at the other end get wickets, because pace is the ace. It puts the skids up to certain batsmen. They make daft shots, silly things. Some don't even fancy it. If somehow you can get one of them playing each test, it makes a difference. And then people have got to stay fit. And even if, like me, I'm saying you have a 40% chance, that's a good chance. Hell, going away is a 40% chance of winning. That's good. Because sport, you never know what's going to happen. So I think England have a good chance. They have to believe they have, but they have to stay fit. They have to play well. They have to bring their A game. Every time I played for England, I have to say to our players, don't make excuses. Bring your A game. Never mind the others. Because if you bring your A game, every single one of you, and we play well, they will have to play brilliant to beat us. And then you go, well played. Well played, you deserve it. But you know, it's very rare that people play brilliant as a side. So you just play well. That's what I'd be saying to England individually. Don't get to the end of the series and say, I wish I'd have done this. I wish I'd have stayed fit. I wish I'd have played better. Don't wish it. Do it.
Does it feel different this time? Fourth, actually, sorry. Does it, because you're not captain now, does it feel...
Yeah, for a number of reasons, really. That being a big one, nice to go there and not be a COVID as well, and have that sort of, those restrictions around the team. But I just feel that the amount of experience I've now got, having been there and going back in a completely different capacity to the last two tours. And us as a team, we're going to be able to hit them with a completely different way than the last two times we've been. I think pace is obviously a huge asset in those conditions and on those surfaces. So I feel like we've got a lot of good tools that can exploit the conditions that we're going to be playing against. And, I'm very confident going out there. I feel like this is the best opportunity it felt like since we've had. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's a great place to go and play. It's a great place to go and tour. It's what you want, is the big moments, the big series to come round so you can go and create something very special and look back at a tour like this at the end of your series. You go and win it in Australia, you know how hard that can be and how historically hard that's been for England teams for a long time. There's not really pressure there in a strange way. It's, can we go and upset the apple cart and create something really special to inspire the next generation almost, and for us to prove that we've got the skills and the know-how to exploit those conditions and beat Australia in their own country.
So you think this is the best chance you've had?
I do.
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
Just do your job. Just have a quiet confidence, that a conviction, hang on, they're not the greatest side in the world, but we keep saying that, and they keep winning world championships, they keep winning Ashes. We don't take them down. We had an opportunity when they were in England. First two tests we should have taken them down and we cocked up. Let's be brutally frank, didn't we? Do you want to be honest?
We missed a couple of opportunities, yeah, we did.
Oh, you'll be good. Good diplomat, our Joe. You cocked up, you had them, and then you start to play, but it rained. And you should always expect rain in England. It affects one of the test matches. No good saying you were unlucky. You caused the problem because you should have won the first two and you didn't. And they get away because they stay focused. They're tough. You've got to be tough. You've got to be focused. Don't make excuses. No ifs and buts. Go and take them down.
You're going to get asked this question, obviously, when you get to Australia by the Australian media about the lack of 100 in Australia. Is that something that bothers you?
Doesn't really matter if it bothers me or not, does it? It's fact. At the end of the day, my job is not, this tour is not about me going to Australia and getting 100. It's about us going and winning. And I know that my job as a batter is to make big runs and big contributions. And clearly, if I'm scoring hundreds, we've got a really good chance of winning out there. In terms of how I approach it, it can't change from how I've approached the last 2 or 3 years, where, you know, I have been quite consistent and I've been managing to adapt to the conditions, whether it be New Zealand or India or, you know, back here in the UK, and I'm scoring quite heavily. So that's the challenge, is to go and do it now in Australia. So having that mindset, I think, is more important than worrying about any sort of personal aspirations.
If I was Australia, I would target you.
Well, they have
every single bit. You're the best player, and if you can take the best player down, people used to say to me, go after the captain. No, go after the best player. I think it's nice if you make 100. It's an important factor, but I think more important is that the best player plays match-winning innings. Say it's a low-scoring match, you make 80. That's worth 150. Have a contribution that is important to the winning.
But that's the art of the game, right?
That's it, isn't it?
That's what batting's about.
Correct. I mean, if it's a higher scoring match, then you've got to make 100. But depending on the conditions, you as the best player have to be such an important figure. And so therefore, if I'm making my plans, I go after you. If I can get you down, I take a big chunk of the England batting out, but I also take psychologically. You get the best player down, whether they do that or not, whether they're good enough to do that, because you're in your best form of your life, you're in the best age. Early 30s is when you come to prominence, like you say, you're mature, you're experienced, you've been around the block a long time, around the world. There's not a lot to teach you. Nobody needs to tell you how to bat. You can work it out, you've got a great mind, you'll work it out as you bat. Just play well. That's all you got to do. And the others have got to play well around you, but you have to be the focal point of the batting. They know that, and if they've any brains, they should try and get you down, because if they don't, they're in trouble.
Generally, the way to win in Australia for England over the years has been to bat's time, grind down the fast bowlers, put a lot of overs into their legs, and then make big runs, which is obviously what happened in 10-11 with Alistair Cook, and then they bowled dry and all that sort of stuff. This time England are going to go with a very different approach, aren't they? It's to bat positively and then throw pace at Australia. Is that?
I think they miss one guy up front to play seal and end, as we call it. See the new ball off, seal and end, give them nothing, and bat quite, I don't mean bat defensively, but bat quite long periods. Frustrates bowlers. They can't get somebody out. Of course you need the shot players then as well, you need a variety. I remember Mike Brearley saying when he was pressed by the press on one of the tours about, we didn't play lots of shots and that. He said, look, the object of my batsmen is to make runs whatever way suits them. We can't play without runs. So whatever way you play, make runs. Can't get at you then.
The art of batting is making good decisions for long periods of time within your game frame. And it doesn't matter how you do it. Ben Duckett does it different to Zach Crawley, does it different to me. So ultimately, it's how long can you perform in that environment by making good, clear judgments for long periods of time. And you know, it doesn't matter whether you're scoring at 4 and over or 2 and over. It's all about doing that time and time and time again. And if we can manage to do that in those conditions against that attack, whatever's thrown at us, then I think we'll be certainly on the way to producing big scores, which clearly work very well and give you a good chance of winning out there. So
we've seen the Ryder Cup over the weekend, and the amount of stick and abuse the players were getting from the fans, from the crowd, and obviously it can get quite lively in Australia. Any tactics of putting that out of your mind? And
you can stay at a slip. And now it's part and parcel. You know you're going to get it. Yeah. You know you're going to cop it at some point. I think it's hard not to hear. You can pretend like it's you're going to zone it out and it doesn't matter. You're going to hear it, so just try and embrace it and understand that in a strange way it's kind of a compliment. They're doing it because they're trying to unsettle you, unnerve you. The most important thing is it should be a reminder to focus on what's important, which is competing out there in the middle. And it not be a distraction. It should almost be like, right, a switch on. And it's easy to say when you've got 150 games under your belt and quite a lot of experience, but I think that's going to be an important part for some of the guys that first time tourists out there. You just got to stay tight as a group, look after each other, understand that that's part and parcel of playing out there. Like you saw in the Ryder Cup, use it to your advantage if you can. Hopefully it makes you that little bit sweeter if it all comes out how you want it to.
Did you get a lot of stick, Geoffrey?
It's the people on the boundary, because you're near them.
Yeah.
But in the middle where Joe is, cover mid-wicket, you're too far away. Yeah, you can hear it, but it's too far away from you. It's too distant. When you're right there, I mean, the last test match when we won in 71, Johnson all got manhandled on the boundary because they were losing. And they grabbed him and what have you, and that's why Illingworth brought them off. There were bottles and cans came over and so forth. It's only on the boundary. Me, it didn't bother me. I just use it as a spur to play well. I just focus. It's this word, some people can. He's got it. Not everybody has. And I keep reminding the players, focus on the cricket. They're only doing it to get you upset to help their team win, aren't they? They're only doing it because they're worried that they're not going to win. So the more they do it, it's because they're worried.
Did you get much grief from the Australian players? I mean, you've said in the past there wasn't an awful lot of sledging in those areas.
Because in one ear out there, you're wasting your time. To me, I used to think, listen, if you're swearing at me, you're worried. And if you're wasting your energy swearing at me, you'll need all that energy when I'm still here at tea.
What do you think when Joe plays his reverse scoop? What goes through your mind then, Geoffrey? Do you wish you'd have been taught to play that?
I think sometimes, why does he bother? He's that talented. He don't need it. But just got to make runs. He makes runs with it. If he gets out occasionally, you have to look at every shot you play. I always thought it this way.
It'd been good for you in the Sunday League though, wouldn't it? Knocking it over.
The way you play, I play to some extent. That suited us. We're not trying to bash it. And with the bats we had, you better hit it absolutely sweet, pretty good to clear the boundary, else you'd hole out. Our bats were wafer thin.
Well,
£2, 4 ounces. Let's have a look at yours. What does that weigh?
210, I reckon.
210. Look at that. Look how big. Look at that. You get an edge there, it doesn't go to slip, it goes for 4.
I don't know, I've found slip a few times before.
I mean, we never saw anything like that, Joe. Everything's changed, and is it for the better? Or, I don't know, but it's changed. Life does change, everything changes. Totally different.
What's the secret to playing that reverse scoop? How do you...
It's like most shows, you watch the ball right onto the bat. You got to play it as late as you can, try and get as low, keep your eyes as level as possible.
Yeah, back to
and go up. Yeah, and go up with the bounce. Try and pick the length early and understand that, you know, depending on where it is, determine your contact point. But ultimately, you're just trying to use the pace. Well, I'm trying to use the pace and just help it over the slips. And in Test cricket, it almost feels like a lower risk shot because you've only got one man to beat or two men to beat. In terms of height, you know where roughly they're trying to operate and where they're going to bowl 90% of the deliveries, but it can be a really useful way of putting a bowler off his length. You know, whether that in a strange way it could be the same as walking down the wicket and hitting him straight for 6. It's just a different way of doing it, and it, like with any shot, it's only a bad shot if you get out.
I don't know how we're going to do this, but I don't know whether, and they always say you shouldn't teach an old batting master new tricks, but you think you'd be able to show Geoffrey how to play it?
I think he'd be able to do it straight away.
I think he'd be able to do it straight away. The series is quite compact. When Geoffrey played Ashes tours, they went on for months. I know your first couple did as well because of the one-day series as well. But do you think it's harder to maintain it over 3 months, or is it harder to have such a level of intensity, 5 tests in like 50 days?
I only lost one series with Australia. The first one I played, 64, we lost 1-0. I've had draws, I've had wins. We won in Australia 70-71, we won in 78-9 was it? I've won in England 77, 81. I've only lost one.
What does it feel like to beat Australia?
It's better than losing. Our first thought was winning, and it was not entertainment. I think Brendan taking the team to another level of expressing themselves. He's very good at that. Expressing themselves, getting the best out of people, letting them play cricket. And the cricket that's played since he's come in has been wonderful to watch. I mean, it's been exciting, but I just feel that the way we've played at times has been splendiferous. And yet we haven't won the Ashes. We've allowed Australia to get away when we should have beaten them. We haven't won a World Test Championship when we're good enough to. We focus too much on entertainment, attacking, batting, and when all that matters is winning. But we've missed a trick, and that's the disappointment for me.
Is that fair, Joe? Do you feel like you've missed a couple of times, or?
Well, I certainly think there's been games that have played in which we should have got over the line and we should have won. You know, that last Test match against India is a prime example of it. Me and Brookie, 70 runs out. We should close that game off. But I think there's a misconception
Still whacking,
between.
Joe. Still whacking.
Also, the way that he played got us into that position to win us that game.
But then use his brains and get us over the line.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we, you know, that small change that we might have to make. But ultimately, we should have got over the line there, and I should have been the one to do that. 30 odd to win. When I got out, I should have seen us home. These are all learnings and lessons that we can draw upon and make sure that we get right when we get out there. And that's, I think, the most important thing. I think it's not as gung-ho as people think it is. There's a lot of method behind what we're trying to do and reason behind it. And like I said, it's making sure that you're making good decisions for long periods of time within your game frame and the way that you play. And if we're good enough at doing that, I feel like we've got everything we need to be successful out there.
Great. Thank you for your time. Thank you, both of you.